Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast, friends. Today we are talking about the high performance. Start over. Let's maybe have a mic this time. Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast, friends. Today we are talking about the high performance success habits that you need in 2024. So the 5 habits we're going to talk about, I'm going to give them to you now, and then I will go in depth on each and every one of them. Now, why is this important? A high performance habit, what that is really defined at is a ritual, a routine, a discipline, a system, something that high performers do repetitively over time to achieve high performance. That's lots of words of high performance. How do I know this? I know this from my research of psychology, my coaching principles, my own work, my own self, and the thousands of clients that I've worked with over my decade in my coaching practice. And so these habits are addressing your physical body, your mind, your spirit, or your soul, your motivation, and your blind spots. So let's go ahead and dive right into your physical body. Now, you've probably heard me say this time and time again. I'm saying this until I'm blue in the face, no pun intended. I'm wearing blue today, is that you can only achieve your dreams and goals to the level your body can take it. So if you're not taking care of yourself, good freaking luck. You might as well throw in the towel now. No, I'm just kidding. You might as well start working towards getting healthier physically. So what I recommend, what is my prescription for most people? So the average person that listens to this podcast is in their 30s or 40s or somewhere around that age. We've achieved a certain level of success, but we want to get to that next level. Now, these are the people that I work with. Successful 6 and 7 figure earners who just are feeling like everything's good. They have a lot to be grateful for in their life. But what's happening is we're feeling unfulfilled. It's like nothing's wrong, but everything is wrong. And this could be one of the reasons. Maybe we focus so much on our family and our business that we've forgotten about focusing on ourselves. So let me give you my prescription that works for almost everyone. Of course, I am not a doctor, so this is not medical advice. But daily movement. Daily movement is really what you need for your physical body. Why is that? Our bodies consist of energy. They're made up of cells and it is meant to move. Do you ever wonder why you get the 3 p.m. slump? You get the 3 p.m. slump because you've been sitting down all day most of the time and your energy is stagnant. So the only thing you really need to do is move for 10 to 15 minutes. So what if we pulled out James Clear Atomic Habits and you habit stacked a few things? What if after lunch, instead of eating your lunch at your desk and then just sitting there and continuing to work, what if you ate your lunch uninterrupted? First of all, your food would digest quicker, and then you would go for a 10-minute walk after. You're gonna have so much more energy, enthusiasm, clarity, and creativity, I promise you. So get out in the morning, walk, first thing, get sunlight in your eyes. That's gonna get your circadian rhythm going. That's going to build energy in your body. Walk after lunch, and what if you just walked after dinner? Or maybe you did like I do, and you did a transition ritual. So at the end of the day, I like to go for a walk because that signifies to my body that we're moving from working in order to being home with my husband, Joel, and enjoying the time with him. So move daily, move often. Even if you're feeling a slump, you could get up, you could jump around, turn on the song Florence and the Machine, shake it out, and shake your body for the 3 minutes, and you will feel energized, I promise. Now, that's not going to be good enough though, because we are talking about high performance habits here. And so my prescription for actually achieving high performance is resistance training no less than 4 days a week. This could be weights, this could be bands, this could be a combination of that and body weight movements, but muscle is really where it's at. There is so much science and research that shows that many of us are not overweight necessarily, we're just under muscled. And if we can exchange the amount of fat that we have for muscle in our body, not only is that going to give us more energy and enthusiasm, we're actually going to look better in our clothes. We'll be able to achieve like one of my new success measurements. If you listen to the last podcast, we did a behind the scenes of one of my latest workshops. One of my success measurements is being able to wear whatever I want, whenever I want, which means I'm taking care of myself physically, mentally, spiritually, and all of that. And my weight is not fluctuating and I feel good in my body. I feel light and free in my body. It's not that I'm a certain weight, but I just feel light and free in my body. So resistance training is going to bring that to you. Then I want you to 3 times a week for at least 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, break a sweat. So that could be running, that could be walking, that could be elliptical, that could be going out and playing tennis and having fun. But I want you to do it consistently where your heart rate is elevated at least a little bit to like zone 2 cardio. So you don't have to be going all out. And I recommend that you're not doing high intensity workouts all the time, all out, but breaking a sweat 3 times a week. And then this is so important. I've actually this year, 2024, is one of my daily commitments is stretching. Joel and I have both been doing it, but stretch and mobility 5 times a week. That could be taking a yoga class. That could just be taking 10 minutes to stretch your body with some really, really good stretches. If you need some ideas on stretching and mobility, my friend Jeremy Scott, I'll link his app in the show notes, but he has a really great app. He talks about daily movement. He is one of my favorite people. He's down in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you're ever down there, look him up, go to his Saturday class, like drop-ins like, I don't know, $20 or something, and it's totally worth it. So that's your physical body, high performance habit number 1. The second thing is high performance habit number 2 is taking care of your mind. Each and every day, I want you to read and learn and grow daily. Now, be specific here. I don't want you to read just anything, or I don't want you to read necessarily what's on trend. I want you to think about, and this is a high performance habit that we're talking about, right? So if you've achieved a level of success and you want to get to the next level, this is what you do. Because we're constantly consuming things that aren't necessarily the things that are going to benefit us right now in this season of our life. So what I want you to do before you start learning is I want you to think about, okay, what is my season of my life? What is my big vision? So the big vision is like the big scary one, right? And then what are my goals underneath that? And what am I working towards this year and this quarter and this month and this week and today? And so as I think about it, one of Joel and mine's big goal this year is to pay off any debt that we have and then buy an investment property. Another goal that I have is really to shift gears on my business and focus a lot more on speaking and corporate workshops and really step back into my leadership so that I can amplify and lift up the voices of others. There's a really big event that we're doing in September called the Amplified Life event. If you want to be on the VIP list for that, put that in the show notes. So I want to only consume things that are going to help me with that. Like right now, I'm not going to be consuming any books on like health and nutrition. I already have a great knowledge of that. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I'm a fitness expert. I done bodybuilding before, so I don't need any of those types of books. I only want to focus on getting closer to God, spirituality, the work that I'm doing as far as my leadership goes, and finance. And if it doesn't relate to that, of course, there are those books for rest and relaxation that you can read too. I love me a good beach read. But as far as learning and growing goes, be very specific on what you're reading. Don't just read anything. That's like hopping onto the internet and just allowing everything to fill your mind, which not only does it fill your mind, but what it does is constant comparison and judgment. It gets you into that, and you don't want that either. So with social media, I didn't write this tip down, but here's my tip for anyone, and including high performers. And high performers, we probably already know this, but social media is not meant to consume. As far as a high performer goes, it's meant to create and connect. So you're creating to be able to connect, and then connecting, and then getting off, not consuming. If you haven't heard that before, try it and see how often you're creating and connecting versus consuming. The next thing under your mind is challenging your mind often by trying new things. When you challenge your mind often and try new things, it grows. And the number one way that it grows, it expands what's possible for you. Right now, our purview is small. And if we can continue to try new things and seek expanders, and those could be people, places, things, activities, anything like that, what's going to happen is what's possible is going to grow. So our confidence is going to grow. Our visions and dreams are going to get bigger. And so our goals are going to get bigger. That's why these high performance habits are so important, because big, huge, audacious dreams and goals, you have to have these habits in order to get there. So the next one is your spirit, your soul. So what I encourage everybody to do is to develop a spiritual relationship of your own understanding. You know, I was just speaking to a friend. I was out back reading and studying the Bible and doing my devotionals and my journaling. And I'm a follower of God. I'm of Christian faith. That's not what you have to be. That's not what I'm saying. It's finding something that works for you. And he came over to me and he grabbed my Bible and he said, "Oh, is this a Bible?" And I told him it was. And he told me, "You know, I had such a bad experience when I was growing up that I haven't gotten back to it." But I was just talking to one of my friends the other day, and he said, "You know, God's been wanting you back for a long time." And he goes, "How do I get started?" And I told him, you know, what I did is I used to tell myself the Bible's too hard to read. So in order to get started, to build my spiritual relationship, I really became spiritual first. I started understanding that there is a strength that's greater than me, that's always around me, within me and around me, guiding me and supporting me. And it's always there. And we can always rely on it no matter what. A Course in Miracles says that you have every right to be anxious and fearful if you're relying on your own strength. And so I started really believing that, and I started in times when I would feel frustrated or overwhelmed or challenged, I would do simple prayers just to redirect often. When my thoughts would go into low vibrational thoughts, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of scarcity, thoughts of lack, imposter syndrome, I would just tell myself, and I learned this from Gabby Bernstein's Spirit Junkie Masterclass that I attended years and years ago, that I would just tell myself, this thought is not of my highest self, and I choose again. And I would just sit and I would know that this energy, something around me, like was going to help me choose a better thought and fill me and get a little bit higher on the emotional scale. So maybe I wouldn't go from doubt and overwhelmed to overjoyed, but maybe I'd go to, okay, I'm feeling okay. And so I started doing that, and then I started reading devotionals. And devotionals are really a way to start getting into the Bible. So there's a scripture, and then the author explains like a little story or a way to relate it to you. And then I would journal about that and how that related to me in my life, which led to reading the Bible, which led to doing the Daniel fast, which led to going to church and becoming a member of a church. It didn't happen overnight. It was years of intimate practice of prayer and meditation and being spiritual, and then praying, and then really understanding and really diving in and studying the Christian faith and reading the Bible. Now, whatever it is for you, once you find it, just know that you can rely on it, and you can talk to this intimate relationship, this spiritual relationship that you have any time. And the biggest time that you're connected is in the morning. So I highly encourage you in the morning to have a practice of just being intentional. Maybe you're doing a meditation, maybe you're praying, that sort of thing, like really connecting your energy to the energy of God, to Spirit, to Holy Spirit, to Buddha, to whoever it is that you pray to. And then throughout the day, asking for that redirection. And then again at night, just giving gratitude and giving thanks for the things for the day. Because here's the thing, you're not going to be able to develop that spiritual relationship if you don't practice it. So just start small, start like I did. If you need more tips, please feel free to send me a DM. I'd be happy to share with you some of my favorite devotionals or spiritual readings that you can get started with. Up next, so number 4 is focusing in on your motivation. So what I want you to really think about doing, and doing this daily, I wrote down in my notes often, but the word should be daily. It's regularly recognizing and appreciating and celebrating progress. It's the progress that we're making. Think about it. Think about 10 years ago. Where were you 10 years ago? around 10 years ago, I was still in this overwhelmingly sense of I want to do something different, but I didn't know what it was. Like, I was in my corporate job, I was working over 60 hours a week, including drive time. It was so challenging. On Sundays was really my only big day that I could spend with my family, which also meant that I wanted to get up early and clean the house and do all those types of things and do shopping. And it was a challenging time in my life because I felt so torn between the comfort and the success that I was having, because your next level, by the way, is always going to be stopped by your current level of success. And until you can let go your current level of success, you're never going to get to the next level. So think about where you were 10 years ago. I think about that woman that I was and how I am today. Not only business-wise do I make double, and I made six figures in my corporate job, but make about double what I made there. I also like my body. I feel so much more peaceful. I'm healthier. I'm happier. I have better relationships. There has been so much progress over the last decade. So if we're regularly recognizing and appreciating and celebrating progress, what's going to happen is we are going to be staying motivated. But what happens most of the time, there's this term in psychology called inattentional blindness. And this happens when you become so fixated on one thing, you fail to see everything around you. And I know this oh so well because I have become so fixated. Oftentimes it's on a particular outcome that I've set, like a particular goal that I've set. So instead of focusing on the progress that I have been making during the journey, I'm so focused on not yet being to that goal that it completely wipes everything away. I don't have any good energy. And so going back to like your mindset and really how celebrating these successes, and if you've heard me over my last few podcasts, you know, I've been talking about celebrating your gratitudes and your wins at the end of the day in your journal is so big. That's such a great way to regularly recognize and appreciate celebrating your progress. But what happens if you don't do this and you're only focused on this outcome, that outwardly measure, not the inwardly measure, is you become discouraged. And discouragement is the number one thing that is really holding us back right now. And yeah, our level of success is holding us back, but what happens when we don't address that is we become discouraged and we go back to comfort and complacency. And we lack any sort of high performance because we're just going through the motions. High performance is not just about external outcomes. It's how you feel on the inside. That's the number one key factor to achieving high performance. So celebrating the progress that you are making each and every day gives you hope, confidence, and motivation to keep going. So lastly, so far we've talked about addressing your physical body, your mind, your spirit, your motivation. Now let's talk about your blind spots. Yep, we all have them. We all have blind spots. In fact, this year I joined a non-mastermind mastermind. I'm not sure what to necessarily call it. It's called the Mixer Mind with Linda Sadu. It's amazing. The women in there are all high achievers, high performers that want to connect and collaborate. And I was like, when I heard this, I was like, freaking sign me up, because that's what I'm all about. I'm a super connector and I want to collaborate with other super connectors. And so I found and already uncovered, we're 9 days into the year. We've had one meeting so far and I've already uncovered a number of blind spots that I have in my business. And one of the biggest things, I talked about it at the end of last year, was that I was doing work and I was doing it consistently, which of course, consistency is something that high performers do. However, I was being complacent in that consistency and I wasn't actually doing the needle moving things. But it wasn't until I put myself in a room with other high level people sharing ideas that were doing the same thing or a similar thing or have already done what I want to do that got me to see that. So we have to have, first of all, some sort of accountability. So do you have an accountability buddy? Do you have a coach? Do you and your husband, are you accountable? Your sister, your friend, whatever your high performance is that you want to reach, like who is your accountability? then you also need to have a sounding board. And this can't always be your significant other. A lot of times it can be your significant other, but you need to have someone to be able to do like that diarrhea of the mouth when you, because what's happening, this is still happening. We're all still isolating ourselves, and we think that we are the only ones and we can do it by ourselves. Remember, you're not the only one feeling overwhelmed. You're not the only one feeling crappy for no reason. You're not the only one who makes mistakes or fails or sets goals and doesn't actually do it. Come on, you're not the only one. But if you get into that mindset, I want you to be able to speak it out loud. If you can speak out loud what's happening for you and those negative thoughts that you are thinking, you take your power back. So you need to have a sounding board, even if it's like a biz bestie that you voice note it to, or you have a coach that you can voice note something to, even if maybe they're not coaching you that day. That's something that I do with my clients, because then you can be like, okay, that's off my chest. I can build my energy back right now. Because what's going to happen is that you're doing these physical things with your physical body, your mind, your spirit. You're building up your motivation. If you're not seeing your blind spots, you're going to get caught up and you're no longer going to have clarity. And if you don't have clarity, you're going to get overwhelmed. Remember, the overwhelm that you feel is not because you have too much to do. It's because you're saying you're not clear on what you want, and you're saying yes to everyone and everything all the time, and it's exhausting. So you have to have accountability. You have to have that sounding board, so you can, whenever you have those low vibe thoughts, you can get them out. Believe me, this works. And you have to have the high level idea sharing. Now, if this is something that you are really seeking out right now, if you want high level idea sharing, I have two things that I want to invite you to join me in this year. The first one is, if you love these high performance habits, this is for you. I am hosting 3 women this winter in Miami Beach for their very own personal curated high performance retreat. So it's 3 days with me. You come in, we do a connection activity. You have your own beautiful suite here in Miami Beach. We wake up, we do health activities. It's all inclusive. All you have to do is get here. Your whole suite is paid for. Your food is paid for, nourishing meals. We do some mindset work. We work on things personally, on your business. If that's something that you want to work on your relationships, it's curated for you. I bring in other subject matter experts. I take you on adventures. I lead you through experiences. We try new things so you can grow. We have connection time, just you and I. You'll have connection time with yourself and exploration time. We have a beautiful, amazing dinner. And then the next day, we have a beautiful ritual to ground it all in. And you actually leave with like a plan. You leave changed. You don't just leave with a bunch of ideas. So if that is for you, there is a link in the show notes, or you can text me the word retreat to 503-386-2981. Again, that's the word retreat to 503-386-2981. And basically we'll just set up a call to talk about it and to see if this is a right fit for you, because it is an application process. I want to make sure that this is the right fit for you, because something that's important to me with my finances is being a good steward of money and making sure the investments that I'm making in myself are a right fit. I would never want to just take anyone, because if it's not a right fit for you, it's not a right fit for you. I've already had a couple of calls that weren't a right fit, one that was a right fit, which is really, really exciting. But the other ones that weren't a right fit, it was just like a not right now kind of thing. And I gave them a referral of like what they should do and work on to really get to where they want to be this year. So it wasn't like they left with nothing. So if that sounds interesting to you, coming here, really kind of being my apprentice, really learning from me, learning everything that I know, so you can leave like fully grounded in with this plan and ready to go. We also do a coaching call at the beginning and a coaching call after once you get home, so you have the support that you need. I'm super excited about curating these retreats. So I've been curating retreats for so long, and I've never done them one-on-one, and God is just lighting up my spirit with this. So I can't wait to see you in Miami Beach if that's for you. But if that's not for you and you still want to be around high-level idea sharing, have a sounding board, and be around other high-performing individuals, then I want you to join us this year in the Amplified Life membership. So the Amplify Your Life membership is very thought out. I thought about this for a long time. I haven't done a membership for a couple of years, and because I was feeling like I wasn't bringing enough value. And if you are going to make an investment in yourself, so it's totally free to try it out for the first 30 days. Then after that, it's $197 a month, just so you know the price. But if you're going to make an investment in yourself, I want to make sure that you are getting a huge value. So what we do is the very first week of the month, we meet for coffee and co-working. So basically the first half, we come with one thing that we want to get done. We all sit down, we don't talk, we get it done. It is amazing. You get shit done the first week. So that builds your momentum for the month. Then we have 30 minutes of idea sharing. This could be, what do you know about this? What resource, what tool can you refer me to here? Asking questions. And it's a mastermind lifestyle. It's not just me coaching, it's these other women that are together that are amazing as well. And we're all contributing ideas for the success of each other. The second week is awesome because you just have that motivation. You're getting things done. Now maybe you might have a roadblock and you might need help with a blind spot. So you have one-on-one boxer coaching with me for 2 hours on the next Wednesday. And the third Wednesday, I am hosting so many amazing guest experts that you have maybe never even heard of that are doing some big things, and we are going to learn from them each and every month. And then we repeat the same thing every month. So upcoming, my new friend, Sophia Para, she's gonna come and she's gonna teach us the 38-minute content solution, which I'm so excited about. If you're listening to this prior to January 17th, click the link in the show notes or text me the word membership and I will send you the link to sign up totally free. But basically, it's 2024 is the year to stop just creating content to create content. Right? We want content that brings value to the people that we want to help and serve and also doesn't lead us to burnout. So she's going to teach us all of that and I'm so excited. So let me go ahead and just recap. And on the blind spots and having relationships, and as I talk about me joining a mastermind this year, positive relationships are just essential to our well-being, essential. And so if you're trying to do this life, this business, this family, whatever it is that is your thing this year for 2024 by yourself, just know that you need people and your significant other cannot be your only one. So I want to read a little bit from the book, The Good Life, which I had gifted someone last year and I'd kind of not forgotten about it, but I haven't picked it up since I read it and it reminded me of that. So let me read you a little bit from this. Let's see. A rich life, a good life is forged from precisely things that make it hard. A Harvard study of adult development, an extraordinary scientific endeavor that began in 1938 and against all odds is still growing strong today. So this is the study. 1,300 of the descendants of the original 724 participants are now in the study. And here's what the study found. So this is the book, The Good Life, if you're watching on YouTube. Contrary to what many people think, it's not career achievement or exercise or a healthy diet. Don't get us wrong, those things matter a lot, but the one thing that continuously demonstrates its broad and enduring importance is good relationships. Good relationships keep us healthier and happier, period. So if you do all 4 of these other high performance habits, but you're not nurturing your relationships, you're probably not going to get there. You're not going to be as happy. So I invite you to join me in Miami Beach one-on-one or join us in the membership this year. That is really going to be the place to be for intentional conversations, for really up-leveling each other, being around those people that you wish were in your community that you see online. You're like, how do I find them? How do I make friends with them? You get in here because not only will you be with the other members and me, but you're going to be with my circle and I'm going to be introducing you to my circle of high performers and high achievers as well. So take care of your physical body, your mind, your spiritual body, your motivation, address your blind spots. And lastly, and most importantly, here's what I want you to know. Happiness is our starting point. It's not our destination in 2024. Happiness is a byproduct of recognizing that you are the destination. You're already there. Happiness is already inside of us. And if we can do these things that I talked about, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our mindset and our body and our well-being, and celebrating our progress, not being so fixated and having those inattentional blinders on all the time, we can start with happiness and then it can just expand from there. So that's our intention for 2024. Remembering we are the destination is us, we are happy. Implement some of these high performance habits and let it be the catalyst to your greatest, most successful, high achieving, fun, fulfilling, joyful, abundant, amazing, beautiful year yet. Thank you for listening.